For the second year in a row, Dave Matthews Band starts off its fall tour in 2 different cities in 2 consecutive nights. And guess what? There were no repeats. DMB post-show stream starts now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. I-O. Shout out to the Ohio players. Shout out to Little Bow Wow, born in Columbus. R.I.P. Johnny Hockey. If you came down from Cuyahoga County, what up? If you came down from Cincinnati to this show, what up? If you did Pittsburgh and Columbus, what up? Shout out Old Town. What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz 34. And I am live here from the home crib. The next stop of this whole thing is my home state of Connecticut. But tonight we were in Columbus. And for the second straight year, as I said at the beginning of this, we have 2 shows in 2 different cities. But we had no repeats. And so there's some songs that deep cut lovers enjoyed from this, right? There's some things here that the casuals love, like Watchtower and Jimmy, and of course Ants, which most people love. But you have two shows in two different cities, and one of the biggest complaints from fans who go to a lot of shows is you try to travel, follow this band around for a week, and you get 3 or 4 repeats from the previous night. Whereas when you go and see a Fish, when you go and see what I consider jam bands, I don't think DMB's a jam band. Their primary communication is through lyrics, not through extremely varied, non-preset jams. So you're getting a taste of what Fish fans get and what Humphreys McGee and String Cheese Incident fans get when they follow their favorite band around for 3 or 4 shows, 5, 6, 7 shows. Now, this isn't going to last forever for this tour, but to have 2 shows back to back in 2 different cities, I believe that is a special milestone for this to happen back to back years. And so, without further ado, what I want to try to do here is I want to get some perspective and thought from fans, because I told you, if people are willing to come on this stream, I want to put them on the stream. So we're gonna go ahead and transition and try to get Nick on. Let me just get transition here. Nick, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me, Marcus?
Yep, we can hear you. Look, sounds like you're driving away from the venue or heading home.
I am outside of a bar. I'm sorry. I'm right outside the venue.
Oh,
can
you
hear
did?
me okay,
Oh, okay.
Or is it?
Yeah, we can still hear you. So we talked to you, right? Gorge Night 3. You're in your home state, correct?
So I'm from Ohio. I'm in Pittsburgh right now, or like Pittsburgh area. I'm from Ohio, Cleveland area.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit outside. It was a 2-hour drive to get here, but close enough.
So you're home where you were raised in Ohio, and you're here for the show tonight. What did you think of this show?
It was a good show. So I was in Pittsburgh last night as well. The crowds both nights, I would say, they were good. It was a little quieter than like the summer tour would be. I'm kind of as you would expect. I thought tonight was a little better than last night in Pittsburgh. It was a fun night. The opener for Ants was great. The crowd got really into it. In terms of the covers that were played, Let's Dance, for some reason, because it's not my favorite cover, got a huge crowd pop. I don't know if you've heard, I don't know what you hear from the fans, but Let's Dance for some reason gets a massive crowd pop when it gets played. Last night, it got a huge one. The Maker got much less of a big deal from the crowd. What do you hear when the Maker gets played? Like, does the crowd like that, or?
I think that longtime fans enjoy the Maker, even if they're longtime fans who don't care what the band plays every night. I think overall, a first-time fan or someone who's casual isn't as big as on the Maker because it's a quieter song. So that's kind of what I get from the Maker is I don't think it's something that a lot of the first-time fans or casual fans like, but in the diehard part of this fan base, you have a segment that likes it. So.
Right. In terms of the closer, I love Jimmy thing. I would always love to hear it. It closing Jimmy into Brick House, I don't really understand it. It was kind of a crowd killer in my opinion. The crowd loves Jimmy thing always, but like going into Brick House, it just sort of killed the mood in my opinion. I don't know what you've heard from your end of it, but it was just not awesome. I thought it kind of killed the vibe. Open on a good vibe, and then kind of killed it at the end.
Gotcha. How was so I know in my opinion, I wouldn't want to have a set close with Jimmy thing into Brick House. How was the crowd overall when that played? Because I'm curious on that.
At the beginning, I thought it was good. When the song first hit, I thought it was good, and then kind of towards the middle of the song, I thought it kind of died out a little bit. It kind of died out towards the middle of the song, towards the end.
So the crowd
energy. I didn't think it was a good end. I thought the crowd energy died towards the end.
Okay.
And maybe I'm wrong, but like in my opinion, I thought the crowd energy died towards the end of the song. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's what I was really curious about because again, we all have our opinions, but you being there, you were able to pick that up. Let's talk about "I'll Back You Up." This is the first "I'll Back You Up" that hits a main set with some variation of full band members hopping in the main set of a show, dating back to the last time this happened was West Palm Beach Night 2 in 2019. What was it like to get "I'll Back You Up" towards the end, but at that 15 spot?
I thought it was awesome. And honestly, the people around me who I didn't think were the biggest fans, like people who were just only seen maybe once or twice a year, they loved the song. They loved hearing it. Tech Man, the guy that was around me, loved it. He was a friend of Help Man, and he loved it. But he loved the song. I thought that "I'll Back You Up" was a great in that spot, the 15 spot. Not one that I would play toward the end of the set, but it was awesome. I just thought it was great, and the crowd loved it too. I thought the crowd responded really well to it.
That's good. And it's one that I know I can say for sure, shout out to Jess, who we'll get a video from. That was something that was part of her wedding. I believe that was her first dance or something in her wedding. And I know a lot of people, that's one that's hard to find depending on where you live. So it's something that I think people are walking away from, especially, longtime fans saying, "I'm glad I heard that again," or "I'm glad I heard it for the first time here." And so the other thing here, we get this Busted Stuff at the 7 spot. What did you think of that?
I thought it was great. And again, it was one that people around me who, again, like my section, I didn't think was the most like hardcore Dave fans. They didn't understand really what was happening, but I thought it was a good spot for that song to be played. I liked it a lot. It's not certainly not like a big vibe killer or a vibe starter, but it was. I thought it was good.
And I want to know your thoughts about the overall show flow. Cam is here in the chat. He's the young, I believe, middle schooler who played the last stop drum outro at his recital. And he said to me, this set flow was weird. He was confused. One minute you're getting "I'll Back You Up." The next minute you're getting Jimmy Thing a couple later after the Old Dirt Hill. What did you think of the show flow compared to other shows you've seen?
I kind of agree. I thought it was an odd show flow. It was okay overall. I mean, when I go to a Dave show, I'm not going to complain overall, but it was an odd show flow. Ants marching to the Maker in general, I thought was kind of weird. Like yesterday, you got kind of like a really strong starter for 3 songs straight, where the crowd was going really hard. Tonight, it was Ants marching to the Maker, and I thought it was kind of like it sort of killed the vibe immediately. So yeah, it was kind of up and down the whole time, which I thought just was confusing for people who aren't going to shows that often.
Got it. And I will say this, this band has not played together since the Rock Hall weekend, which was very busy. They didn't even have a concert, and I understand why, man. Like I get it, because most bands may come into the Rock Hall weekend and not have as much touring, and they can just go ahead and play a cookie cutter set. This band had to create a unique abridged set and then do all the other festivities. So I think one thing everyone should know at home is that last year we saw this with them playing 2 totally different sets. And then this year we saw this. They're almost just like, these are like warm-up sessions for what they're going to have next week. But at the same time, you get 2 shows with no repeats. And I if I'm at these shows, if I was in the Midwest and I couldn't get out to the East Coast, I think I would walk away saying, hey, I got a lot of stuff that is great. I have a lot of stuff that I like. And maybe there's a couple things that I don't like, but the crowd may like. And I think that perspective is important for fans at home, is that, I mean, this band, they come back and they don't have a week of rehearsals. They kind of pull up and maybe have something the night before, if that, and they're really learning as they go. They're really getting everything worked out as they go.
I totally agree. They know what they're doing. As they go, it works out, but I totally agree with what you're saying.
And what did you think of the sound both nights? I want you to go to Pittsburgh and then get us over to Columbus. What do you think of the overall mix where you were for these two shows?
Well, I thought, in my opinion, I thought Pittsburgh was better last night in terms of the overall set and the crowd as well. I think in terms of fall shows in general, the crowd usually is a little more subdued for fall versus what the summer does. It was good. I thought the crowd was better last night versus tonight, and kind of the set as well. But I don't know. I mean, they always balance it out relatively well, I would say. And opening with Ants, I thought was good for people that aren't there as often. I was kind of waiting last night for Rapunzel because I haven't heard it very much this summer. They were kind of faking the Pantala into other stuff, which is great. But like I was waiting for other stuff to come all summer. So like yesterday, Rapunzel coming, I thought was good. And then kind of closing it out, I thought was better last night as well. But I don't know. I mean, I talked to some people today that were at the concert yesterday, and they seem to be pretty excited about coming to both nights. But yeah.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, a two-step closer is going to be, to me, something I'd rather have than a Watchtower closer. But there are fans. I know someone had messaged me that some like a new fan or a casual fan their mind was blown from their first ever Watchtower Stairway to Heaven Watchtower. And I think that's important to understand, is that you have fans that, even though many of us may say, hey, oh, Watchtower, you're closing with the cover, that can seal the deal for a lot of fans. We may say, oh, it's Watchtower is not as, there's no violin anymore. It's not as acoustic based. It's more electric based, especially with that stairway kind of interpolation now, or partial. It's not what it used to be, but for some fans who are there for the first time, a Watchtower closer could win them over. So there's a reason they keep playing that, even though it's something I'd rather have two steps. But interesting perspective, like you said, two-step closes first night, and I think everyone's happy, right? Maybe some new fans, first-time fans don't fully understand what it is, but like, hey, whatever that is, I need to listen to it again. But that's kind of a universal love. But tonight you get an O and into Watchtower, maybe not as desired as Friday night.
Yeah, and to be clear, I thought last night, in terms of the closer, I thought two-step was a better closer than tonight to end the entire concert. I thought two-step was better. But yes, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. And so you're going to get some things you like. You're going to get some things you don't like. But if this trend continues, we are going to have a special, yet again, another special tour where there's limited repeats, even if songs are repeated. And I think that's always great for fans who do travel to see this band multiple stops, whether you're going to a 2-night stand in Mohegan or MSG, or you just went to this 1-in-1 in Pittsburgh and Columbus. Any other final thoughts about the show, your experience going to these shows in the Midwest / whatever you want to call it, Pittsburgh, I guess. Some people don't think it's Midwest, but what did you think about these shows? Your experience?
Yeah, nothing really. No, nothing really. I mean, I thought both nights were really fun. Shout out to Randy Tech, man. He's an awesome guy. Had a awesome 2 nights, but other than that, like I thought it was cool. Shout out to Tech, but that was it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your night. And if you ever are again at a show, like I said, feel free to reach out. We'll try to get you on. Take care.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks, Marcus. Yep. Have a good night.
All right. Bye. All right, so we want to thank our guest here for tonight who came on, and we had reached out to Nick for the Gorge Night 3, kind of a last minute, hey, can I come on? And we've had him on. He's here for this pair of shows here in the Rust Belt. Is Cleveland the Rust Belt? I don't know. But, you're Midwest-ish, whatever you think of it. So what I want to do now is I want to continue the trend to get reaction from the fan base. So with that said, what I'm going to do is bring up a video of my friends from Wisconsin who were with my friends from Indiana and also my friends from Colorado. So we're going to play this clip here. And let me just make sure we can. Oh, I got to take this graphic off. So give me 1 second. We'll get everything set up. And we'll take. All right. So we'll get some thoughts from this. Tony C, I sent you a link if you were live. I think you said, I thought you hit me up, Tony C, that you were at the show. But if you are, I gave you a link if you wanted to hop on real quick, give some perspective here. But let's go ahead and get this clip to play. And we'll get our friends on here. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
All right, we're coming to you recorded but live from outside of Nationwide Arena. Say hi, everybody. Hello. Hello. All right, what did you think about the show?
It's a good show.
It was a good show. Favorite show? Favorite song?
Back you up.
All right. Favorite song?
Busted Stop.
Favorite song?
Busted Stop.
Favorite song?
You know I am the whore for Watchtower.
You know when you go to a show and they close with a cover song? It happens. But we got I'll back you up. And it was a fun night. And we're all, oh look, we're taking a selfie together. Here's a video of us taking a selfie.
There we go. Thank you guys.
All right.
Awesome, buddy. Hey.
I don't know if this is very entertaining or useful, Marcus, but we are all tired and so happy from an amazing show as people are streaming out of the Nationwide Arena.
She almost called it Nationwide. You gotta love that Wisconsin accent. Wayne and Jessica from Wisconsin, Shane and Angie there from Colorado, and then we got our friends from Indiana as well with them. And so that's some more perspective here. So you want to thank those people for sharing. Also, we got my boy Kumi DMB, who I got a picture from. Shout out to Two Steph. She texted me a picture. She's like, look who I found. It's Kumi, right? So they were in the pit tonight, Kumi, and then shout out to Two Steph. But let's go ahead. We want to get some perspective from Kumi DMB. So we'll go ahead and play. It's a two-part thing here. This is part 1 of 2. So let's go ahead and get a listen here. And actually, I'll put these side by side so you guys can see. This is part 1. And we'll get part 2 set up here. Just make sure this. That's our blood right there. Oh, let me stop singing. All right, here we go. Part 1, we're going to play.
What's up, guys? It's Kumi DMB, also known as DMB Fan JTR, coming at you from the Holiday Inn for Concert Vids 34's live stream, post-show stream. Just got back from the Columbus show at Nationwide Arena. Man, it was a great show. The energy was just so high. You could tell the boys enjoyed some time off, before this fall tour and after the summer shows, and I think they just are all firing on all cylinders now. From the beginning, Ants marching, opening the show, like starting the show off at such a high note, like it was just so full of energy. The venue was pretty cool. It's a hockey stadium, so it was I think it seats about 18,000. It was pretty packed. The noise was pretty rowdy. People were getting excited for the show. There's a lot of casual fans there. Some fans didn't know some of the newer songs, like Looking for a Vein. Speaking of Looking for a Vein, I think that today's Looking for a Vein was the first time that Dave played with an electric guitar. But that was really cool to see. I don't think we had any major surprises in the set, but we had a lot of good jams throughout it. Actually, we didn't have that many jams. We had more like slower, shorter songs. We had "Stolen Away," which is always good to hear, in my opinion. We had "The Maker," which is not a song you get every show, which is really cool to see. "I'll Back You Up" mid-set was pretty cool. I didn't expect that to come in. I expected maybe in the encore, but that was a pretty cool mid-set little jam. What else did we have? I think actually, outside of Ants, I think the loudest the crowd got was surprisingly Typical Situation. I think that the quieter part of Typical Situation, where Dave is singing in a softer tone, the whole crowd seemed to be singing that, or at least around me, which was pretty crazy. I definitely didn't expect that, but that was awesome.
And just to kind of put some clarification, it was not, and he's coming out the show. This was not the first time Dave tinkered with looking for a vein with the electric guitar. I believe he was using, I was watching some streams and it was far back, but I believe it's the Gibson Les Paul Jr. that he was working with this summer, as well as some other times where he was using that electric guitar to see how it sounds. We saw the same thing happen with other songs, right? And one that comes to mind is Samurai Cop, where he played it electric for most of the time. And he then did have some rare occasions with acoustic, especially with Dave's solo. But I believe he did go to the acoustic a couple of times, but really he realized, hey, the Gibson Les Paul Jr. is the instrument that I need to play it on. So there are times where Dave will try to go electric acoustic as well. Let's listen to part 2 of this.
Busted Stuff was great. Always great to see Busted Stuff. Somewhat of a rarity nowadays. And I got really excited when I saw the little red guitar come out during this third song, but it was Idea of You and not Shotgun, but still a great song to see live. Honestly, I don't love when they play Jimmy Thing, but today's version was really crisp, and they did midway through, they did a little segue that was new. It was kind of like a low tempo, like Dave was just scatting and introducing the band members, and that was pretty cool. I mean, it did bring the energy, even if you don't like Jimmy, you have to sometimes give a nod to it because the band really likes to play it and they get all fired up for it. So I also like Brick House. I think it's one of the better things they segue into. I know that might be controversial, but overall, for a show that had 4 cover songs, I think it was pretty solid. Like we had a lot of good energy. Crowd was into it. Obviously, there was a lot of chatting, but that happens. But what else can I talk about? The poster. I did get to the venue kind of early. I think I got outside around 4:30. I was in the pit, so I didn't have first entry. I did not get awarded that, unfortunately. But I got to the line about 4:30. Doors were about 6:15. Started letting us in. I had to make a decision whether I wanted to get a good spot in the pit or get the poster. I tried to do both. I got to the pit first, but then when I tried to get a poster, it was just too chaotic. There was 2 basically areas to get merch, and they were like at polar opposite ends of like the venue. When you walk in, you could see both of them at the opposite ends. It was so hectic when I tried to get in line. Like both of the lines had wrapped around and were kind of like intersecting. So I was not going to be able to stand in that. And I think the poster did sell out because I did try to look on the way out. But yeah, I was about 6 rows back in the pit, so not a bad spot at all. And the sound was actually really good. Some pits I feel like the sound is worse than in seats or in lawn. But I think this venue did a good job. They had smaller speakers at the stage instead of like one large one. So I felt like I was more immersed with the sound than I had been in most other pits. So overall, it was a great show. My first time up here in Columbus for a show. Great to see all the DMB fam You know, we had a lot of great times at the meetup before the show, and earlier during the day and after the show. It just, the community is what keeps you coming back. Obviously, you're there for the music, and the music is elite, but this community is something else. So it's a great opportunity to be part of this family and you know, be part of the DMB community. Parting thoughts, you know, this fall tour has been great so far. I wasn't able to go to Pittsburgh, but I love that we've had, you know, 20 tour debuts today. No repeats from last night, which is great, which is what you want to see. So, you know, I hope you get something special in Mohegan. I hope you're able to go, Marcus, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you like it. DMB fan JTR signing off.
All right, we want to thank him, Kumi DMB, aka DMB JTR fan. Here's a picture of the line. I got this sent to me courtesy of Jess, who was in that video, that kind of shorter video that we played first. It was the first video review, and you know, she said she thought it was about 200 people in that line. So that was a big thing. But the poster, when she reported right before she went, like the show started, or no, around 7:15, I think it was, not before the show started, 7:15 to be exact, the poster still had not sold out, but people were in line for merch. So there was a lot of demand for merch and potentially that poster, but it, like the poster in Pittsburgh sold out a little after 7 from what I heard from reports that I got. So both posters I think were great, as far as just not being methane posters and having, you know, the Pittsburgh one sold out. This one tonight was pretty cool. Let's take a look at that. We'll get that over here. And so there you have the posters. So I really liked, even like that Fire Dancer with the orange and teal, that original Fire Dancer shirt from the 90s with those colors, like having that incorporated into a ring. That's where, to me, this is a haphazard press. They've done other prints for the band, including that Butterfly tour poster a couple years ago, which I still need to frame. So they've done other stuff, but I like
Fire Dancer shirt from the 90s with those colors, like having that incorporated into a
Oh, wait,
ring.
hold on. Give me
That's
one
weird.
second, guys.
This is a haphazard press. They've done other prints for the band.
Give me 1 second, guys.
On my other phone.
All right. So anyway, I got Tony C that's going to come on in just a second. I'm setting up him to be connected to the stream. But yeah, I just like F4D. Oh no, this is not F. I like F4D, Haphazard Press. Both of them need more posters, and I think they should take the place of Methane as far as high volume. Methane should only do, at least in my opinion, maybe 3 or 4 posters a year for DMB. They've had a great run, but we need more creatives. It's time to bring in different perspectives, in my opinion. Let's see. So let me go ahead. I'm going to set up Tony C to just give us some thoughts here.
Can you hear me?
Yep. And yes, Tony C, we can hear you back there. I can hear you. I'm just setting you up for the rest of the stream.
Cool.
So
I don't have to do anything else, right? I'm good.
All right. And Tony, we almost have you set up. You're good. You're good. Everything. We can hear you great backstage in the control room. And by control room, just me. But let's see. We got to get this set up. All right. We're going to bring on Tony C here. All right. Tony C, you are live on the air. Tell us about this show in Columbus, Ohio.
The home of the Blue Jackets. No ice tonight, though. No ice tonight. It was great. I had a great time. I'm to the point with my DMB fandom that like just being in the building and experiencing that energy that the band brings and the whole driving to it, and it's just I'm very addicted to it. So I mean, it's kind of gotten very easy to have fun at Dave's shows. But tonight was nice. It was really good. Very strange set list. I wasn't expecting Ants as the opener. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I thought we were going to get Shotgun because I knew it wasn't going to be Squirm. They played that the night before, but it was Idea of You, which is cool too. I've never got that song, so
Let's go back.
Kind of a mellow show.
Let's go back to that Ants, because what's important about this show as well. Ants opens yet another show for 2024. Now there's some data that I need to check for sure, and some shows we don't have from 92 and 93. Like there's some shows we just don't have the set list for. But Ants Marching has opened up 5 shows this year in the main set. It's opened up 5 shows. It also was a partial of Ants was performed to open up the Dave Matthews Band Rock and Roll Hall of Fame set. So that is the most, that could be the most that they've ever played in a single year. Full band, most full band main set openers. There's been 2 sets and all that sort of stuff. So the second set's back in the early 90s, back in 2015 and 14. We've had some Ants open up that second set or open up the first of the 2 sets, but like 5 total Ants openers dating back to the show I went to at Guilford 7/16/2024. So that's a cool thing that you have 5 different experiences plus 1 Rock Hall experience where you could have really heard those drums, the snare drum Carter hits start off your show.
I thought Typical Situation was one of the highlights from tonight.
Yeah, and Typical.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Am
can
I
hear
still
you.
on? All right, I got you.
Yeah, Typical is, what's funny is I didn't want to post this because I thought it would manifest Jimmy thing, but Typical Situation to me, I think I heard it twice or 3 times this year with the full band. To me, that was like a better Jimmy thing because I got no Jimmy things all year in the summer, but I got a couple of Typical Situations, and to me, I've always loved that song, but I loved how essentially the shows I went to, Typical Situation was that long form jam that's preset for the most part, but that they did go through it and explore and have a little bit of variation, versus typically it's not Typical. It's Jimmy thing that I get 3 or 4 times going to all these 2-night stands. So I love how you guys got it. What did you think of the Jimmy thing Brick House set closer?
It was fine. I mean, everybody likes when Rashawn sings, so that part honestly got one of the biggest crowd cheers of the night. I'm cool with Jimmy Thing. That's one of the original DMB songs that I got rocking with, that kind of set me down the path of becoming more of a super fan, I guess, if you must. I mean, I've been to 21 shows now. I know that's not like crazy numbers, but I haven't seen any other band in my life more than Dave, and I've only been doing it for like a little over 5 years now.
Yeah, that's a huge kind of turnaround to not see shows until 5 years ago, and then to have 21 in 5 years is definitely I can see how, I remember tracking the shows you were going to. You were driving all across the Midwest and even other parts of the country. And so it's great to see someone like you get it, catch on, and now you're part of this fan base, that part of the fan base that travels to as many shows that you can work into your schedule. Did you get the poster tonight?
I did. Honestly, I'm really not trying to brag, but a lot of crazy stuff happened for me tonight. they had. I got the poster. I wasn't going for the foil or nothing. I like the regular one, but I got to my seat really early too, and over the last probably it started like 3 years ago. I started chopping it up with Rab like a lot before the show, and like, I take a picture with him, and he's just such a cool guy. Like, I don't want to like disturb him too much because that man spends half of his night taking pictures and smiling with people, and he's just a champ. But he gave me another set list tonight, and that's 2 set lists. I haven't even like asked for it. I feel like, I don't know, everything that comes like with doing this, and like it's just so special, and like we really got to enjoy this while it's here, because nothing lasts forever. But while we're able to do this, and being where I'm at, I mean, I'm able to get to some pretty, some good runs from where I'm at and not really have to drive that far. So I'm kind of blessed with location too.
Right. So you're right outside. You're in the Detroit metro, so you can get to Cuyahoga. You can get out there for
Yep.
Blossom. You can get out to Deer Creek.
Riverbend.
Right, Riverbend.
Deer Creek's amazing. If you haven't been to Deer Creek, anybody, definitely go there. So I got the fish bug really bad in the last 2 years. I went to 13 fish shows this year alone, and I actually went to Deer Creek to see them. And that place is a wonderful place to see a show,
Wait,
especially a weekend run with the camping and the shakedown. There's a lot to be had over there for a weekend.
so you went to 13 fish shows this year.
Well, one of them was the Trey Anastasio band, but I'm counting that. So yeah, I went to
Okay.
Yeah. So I only did two Dave shows this year. I did Pine Knob, and then I should have done Pittsburgh, man, because I really want to get Minarets, and they busted it out, but I can't be mad about nothing. I'm blessed.
Yeah, and with fish, like you said, Deer Creek, you get 3 shows. You go to Alpine, that's 3 shows. That's 6. So you can't build them up. But still impressive that you've found these bands in the live stage. You've experienced DMB and Fish live, and to have 13, you include your tab show, that's 13 Fish experiences, and then recently, last 5 years, getting into the 20s for DMB. It's never too late. I always say this, it's never too late for anyone to hop in to find new music, especially me being promoting this band, and as far as just sharing my love for it and sharing everyone else's love for it. I always say it's never too late. So thank you, Tony C, for coming on. Safe travels wherever you may be
Thanks,
heading.
Marcus.
And
home. I'm heading back home. I'll be there in an hour and 45 minutes.
Awesome. And who knows, sooner rather than later, the Rays could be driving out of St. Petersburg. The stadium deal.
Hey, we're not talking about baseball, man. Come on, man. It was man, my poor Yankees broke my heart, man. They broke my heart this year. They really did.
Yeah. And then they don't.
And then that's the other thing. That's the other thing about this band. It's like, and I know you're like this too, but like, you go to these cities, there's so much else to see and do besides just go to the show. You can go to sporting events. You can go to collectible stores and like check out places to eat. Like I've really got addicted to like that aspect of like traveling and like tying it in with like other experiences as well. And like a lot of DMB fans I've noticed tend to be baseball fans too, or sport fans. So it's a really cool community. I'm grateful for Dave, the band, and everybody. I hope everybody, finds peace, and, thanks for having me on, man.
All right. Take care. Have a good one.
See you, dude.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
And just to add even additional to piggyback off of that, I the Tropicana Field just had a hurricane. My little brother is out in Tampa, and I decided to go to Tropicana Field because I wanted to start off the tour in Tampa. And so I saw a Rays game there, knocked that off of my stadium checklist. Why? Because DMB was there. I was not like, and the Rays are probably going to leave Tampa as they should, or St. Petersburg, right? They're not even in Hillsborough County. They shouldn't build a new stadium there. It's a waste of taxpayer money, and St. Pete will be fine. There's lots of beaches, lots of tourism, lots of people moving there. It has really grown up and expanded like much of the Florida metros. But I say all that to say, I was never going to just say, hey, I'm going to fly to Tampa to see a Rays game. But I wanted to fly to Tampa to see family and see DMB. And then the Rays game came of that. And I was able to get to that venue, which I don't think is going to open again. Owner's too cheap, right? I went to Chicago in between Deer Creek and Alpine a couple years ago and saw the White Sox after Deer Creek Night 2 in 2022, and then saw the Cubs a couple of days later. I love baseball stadiums, but the reason I got to those stadiums is because of Dave Matthews Band, right? I went back to Alpine this year. My friends Jessica and Wayne hosted me. I hung out with their families and friends, and again, this is all because of this band. And I now know Milwaukee sayings and slang and different things like that. I've now been to Summerfest, even though DMB didn't play this year there. Why? Because of Dave Matthews Band. I've ran and I ran in Tampa this year along the Riverwalk, again, because I was there for DMB. I ran in Chicago. Why? Because I was going to Chicago for a couple of days before I went up to Wisconsin for Alpine, right? SPAC and Guilford and all these places I've gone and walked and hiked and done different things is because of this band. And I think that's what's important about all of this. Other thoughts about the set here. Let me go to my tweets. Oops. Sorry, guys. Because let's see what else I said about the show. So the lines were a big thing. The ants thing. This busted stuff thing is pretty cool as well. 7 busted stuff plays here. And so it's tied. 7 full busted stuff makes it 2024 tied for 3rd all time for most busted stuffs in a year full band. That's an awesome stat there. Last full band, I'll back you up again. 7/27/19. Some other things that I also found here. This show had some markings of Guilford. Guilford opened with Ants Marching. Guilford Night 1. Guilford Night 2 opened with Ants Marching this year. And then this was the first time that, let's see, what song hadn't been played since Guilford Night 1. I think it was, let's see, what show was. Yeah, Busted Stuff had not been played since Guilford Night 1, which will be out soon. I'm hoping to finish that by next week and get it out either next weekend or that Monday after the hurricane benefit. But this Busted Stuff was last played Guilford Night 1. So that's a pretty big gap there. Busted Stuff was not played at the Gorge this year, but it was played tonight and it was played at Guilford. And then again, just that I'll Back You Up. It was played at the Gorge, but if we look at I'll Back You Up here, it is a hard song in this modern era to get. Let's zoom out a little bit. And you'll see 5 plays this year, full band, some of those in Europe, but then 2, 0, 4, 1, 4, 0. So it's a hard song to get. But we did see it tonight. And look at that. 1999, 21 just went off a cliff. The first song that Dave wrote and played for members of the band core members of the band, and I believe he said Tim Reynolds today as well. So just nice to get that thing in, and a lot of people again love that song. I think it's one of the better ones because people say like, "Oh, Conservatives, you don't like You and Me?" Not really. It's not a practical message because you can't do anything. But I love I'll Back You Up because even though it's technically he wrote it for somebody that he was hoping he was in love with, but then it never worked out. So he didn't actually back her up forever. He found Ashley. So it all worked out. But nonetheless, if you writing it for your wedding, the context of I'll Back You Up doesn't always mean, there's questions on does it match for a wedding, but it's a beautiful song regardless. That's why people put it in their wedding. That's why people use it for other things, including with their spouse, a special night or a special memory of this song. So there you have it. What else? Still no Away From the World. Away From the World has not been played. Hey, start off with Drunken Soldier, Mohegan Night 1. But yeah, no Away From the World, the first two shows. We did get Some Devil got a song in. It was the first first set of Some Devil songs were played tonight. So you had So Damn Lucky that was played. You had Stay or Leave a couple songs later. These were the first Dave solo Some Devil album songs that they played on the tour. Again, only the second tour stop, but still. You get that on the board. So Away From the World, we'll see what happens. Every other studio album has been played. Next up on the bill is Mohegan. So we have 2 nights at Mohegan. I think the beautiful thing about this is the band has had 2 shows to kind of get their bearings. Now they have 2-night stands. They don't have to travel or fly or anything between Mohegan Night 1 and Night 2. And then it's a very easy drive down to New York City, Madison Square Garden. And again, I know I talk about this a lot. The reason they did this tour, the only reason they would do a tour in the fall after having the rigorous beginning of the year one-off shows, Dave and Tim stuff, then you go to Europe, then 2 weeks later you're in Tampa, and then you go through a rigorous June and July. You get a little bit of a break, then you're back on the West Coast. The only reason they would do a fall tour, this is extra credit, this is overtime, it's bonus, is having a logistically easy run of shows. And that's exactly what they did. The venues were open for MSG and Mohegan. The venues were open. Pittsburgh Penguins not in town here last night in Pittsburgh, and then the Blue Jackets not in town tonight. And so I know people want them to go out to Cali. I know people want them to do more Southern tour stops like last year. But the reality is, in a year like this, the touring they do every year, it's just easy for them to make these tour stops. And if you're upset, sell your house in California and come move to Connecticut. It's much cheaper to live in Connecticut than California. Still have our taxes and stuff, but hey, move to Connecticut. I'm within 3 hours of Guilford, Hartford, Mansfield, Saratoga Springs, SPAC. Homedale without traffic in a perfect world would be under 3 hours. Camden is only about 3.5. And then you add in summer traffic, maybe that adds another hour, an hour and a half. So I'm within 3 hours of all those venues. And then you look at the arenas. And Boston, for example, like Boston isn't getting as many stuff. But again, it's hard to book Boston. That's why they're leaning on Mohegan, because Mohegan does not have a 41 game a year tenant, where Boston has the Boston Celtics are playing tonight. The Bruins will be in there. Other events are there. They're leaning on Mohegan because there's a lot of openings. They get MSG booked in advance, it appears, and then they circle around everything around those stops. But yeah, it's easy. I will be at Mohegan both nights. I will be at some of the meetups. If you have video, I will be planning to put together videos down the line. For as far as multicams, I'll get some clips out of my just shots there for both of those nights. But I am looking to do that. If you are shooting video, widescreen or horizontal, shooting like this is the best. If you are closer up, sometimes that vertical in the pit is good, but if you can get horizontal pit video as well, that'd be awesome. But I want to try to make those again. I think my Mohegan Night 2 was just a phenomenal multicam because of the clips people sent in. I think one of my favorite shots was side stage, where you could see Dave on to the left, the crowd to the right, and that's just a special set of shots I got for that show from the person that recorded right there, side stage. So yes, I'll be there. Multicam planned. I still want to, you guys send me videos of your thoughts from Mohegan, MSG, all that stuff, because I love playing those video clips where we can get instant reaction. Make a 2 to 5 minute video. Give me everything you got in the 2 to 5 minutes about the show, and we'll get your thoughts and reaction. I will be at the Hurricane Benefit Soul Shine. Huge Allman Brothers Band fan. So Derek and Warren Haynes in different capacities. Warren with Warren Haynes Band, and Derek Trucks being a guest build on the lineup. I'm excited for that. I am concerned about the time limit they have for that. There's so many acts they packed in. So but I know I'm going to have fun and enjoy whatever they do. Come say hi to me. See me, say what up. I'm just a fan, right? That puts my face on YouTube. That's it. But I love talking with you guys, DMB, talking other stuff, talking families, tell me where you're from, talk your city. So don't be afraid to say hi, say what up. If you do see me at Mohegan for those 2 nights, great venue, free parking. There's valet parking as well. And leaving a show from Mohegan, there's never an issue. Like, there's a little bit of traffic if you try to leave right away, but there's so many different ways to get out of that place, and the traffic flow. And really, I stay there. I may grab some food. There's Krispy Kreme donuts. There's some other stuff you can get 24 hours a day, or you could go to the casino or watch some stuff at the sports book. I never stress about leaving Mohegan. Where other venues, it's like, oh, I got to take this and that, and there's traffic, or how do I get to my car? I got to take the subway. Mohegan is just a great venue. So that's it. It's your boy Conserviz 34. Let me get out of here. We're going to close out with, I'll give you a little bit of number 41, Corey Wong. I won't play the full thing, but this is on my YouTube channel as well. Check out some of the videos. If you're watching this, maybe you've never seen this, you came back from this Columbus show, you hit my video. I do edit collages of fan submitted video, combine it with tape or audio with the various multicams, and I do upload some just individual videos of what I've captured at shows I'm going to. It's your boy Conserviz 34 signing off. I'll see y'all at Mohegan. Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited for what the band's gonna bring there. Peace, love, and DMB free dodo. And don't bring Jimmy thing to Mohegan. Love y'all. Don't bring Jimmy thing. Don't bring Bayou either. Don't bring Bayou to Mohegan. Just saying. All right, peace. All right, we're going to skip through this. Shout out to Corey Wong. I saw him on Monday in New Haven, Connecticut. We're going to skip through this. You can watch the full video on my page, but I'm going to cut through after these credits to about the Corey Wong solo, and then we'll just be out of here. All right, peace.
You did at least. And also, thank you very much to our great Corey Long.